In this demo, you will get to know how to create backend performance test in Career. I already log on into the system. If you are working under admin user, switch to project working mode and also choose required project if you already have set up several projects in your Career platform. Once you have chosen the project, you will be redirected to configuration uh, section. Here we don't need to do anything right now. Let's go right now to performance section and let's go to the backend tab. To add the test, we need to click plus against backend test. Here we need to specify test name, test type, and test environment. Let's call it demo backend test. In test runner section, in drop-down menu, we need to specify the tool, either Jmeter or Kotlin or any executable jar. And also we need to specify the version of this tool. Right now, by default, we have 5.5 version of Jmeter. Let's use it. Next, we need to specify sources of the code. We have three options here. Either to fetch the code from Git repository using SSH or HTTPS URL, or upload the file from local instance by choosing the required file, or to mount files to uh, the directory of the runner. This option local might be useful when you're doing some pre-preparation of maybe test data or executable jar, for example, for Kotlin, and from CI/CD, and you want to mount these prepared files to your runner and use these files. In this case, this option can be used, and you can specify the path uh, where to mount these files. For the purpose of this demo, we will be using Git option and HTTPS. I will be using demo Jmeter from Carry.io repository, basic e-commerce GMX. Let's copy the path and paste it here. By default, we have specified a branch main, what is applicable for us. But if you are using another name of branch, you need to specify the names that you need to use. Authentication to Git repository can be managed in two ways, using username and password or SSH private key. Uh, Both username, password, and SSH private key, it can be added in secrets in Carrier, in fetched from there afterwards. Let's look at secret section in platform get carrier. So we need to open configuration and secret tabs. Here we already have some default secrets, but if we want to create some new secrets, for example, SSH key, and secret value will be added here. We can save it. And afterwards, the SSH key can be passed here in double brackets in this way. Right now we don't need it as we are using public Git repository. Then we need to specify entry point. It is the name of Jmeter file or class for Kotlin. In our case, we are using Jmeter, so the name of our files will be basic e-commerce gmx. In load configuration section, we need to specify configuration and engine region for load generator or for load generators in case of distributed testing. Distributed testing we will review in next demo. Right now we will be using one load generator, and this load generator will be run on default engine that will be launched on the same instance where platform get carrier is running. So engine region we have default because we don't have any other regions set up. Runners, it is the amount of load generators. Right now we will be using one, but theoretically we can specify two load generators even now. But we need to make sure that we have enough CPU cores for required amount of runners and required amount of memory. Um, we are specifying one CPU cores for our runner and 4 gigabytes memory. It means that this amount of hardware resources will be allocated for one runner. In case if we specify two runners, then one CPU core will be allocated for every runner, and by 4 gigabytes of memory will be allocated for four runners. It means that 8 and 2 CPU cores should be free to run the test with two runners. Right now, let's use one. And let's go further to test parameters. In test parameters, we need to specify the variables that we have in our script. We can either specify them or not specify if we want to use default values from the script. But if you want to have possibility to override these values, then we need to specify them here. I want to override the number of users, ramp up in and duration. So I will specify it here and set default value, let's see, 10. And another parameter, it is ramp up. We'll specify 100 seconds and duration. Let's specify 300 seconds. There is possibility to set up also quality gates for the test, integrations with Jira and Azure DevOps ticketing system, and to set up emails, and also set up scheduling, but we will review that in next videos. And the last but not the least, it is advanced parameter section. Here we can specify as custom plugins and extensions that we are going to use during our test. For example, some custom jars for Jmeter. In that case, we need to in the first field we need to specify bucket name in carrier and name of file. And here we need to specify path to the mounted file. So let's review the bucket section for our project. Right now it contains only default buckets, but we can create custom bucket and we'll do that. For example, plugins. We can set up retention. By default, it is 1 day. Let's save it and just drag and drop the file from your file explorer here. Yes. So we have our file uploaded in the bucket. And now we can specify it in the custom plugin section. Plugins, lambda Python, and the path file for mount lambda Python. Split and CSV capability is used only for distributed testing, and we will review it in distributed testing video. So let's delete plugins lambda right now because we don't need it for this test, and save test plan. As you can see, we have the test demo backend test created, and it appeared in backend test section. If we need, we can edit test plan. Just click settings, make some editing if you need, and update it. Or we can start the test clicking by play button. Here we see the configuration of the test. It is test parameters, load configuration, and other integrations that we have specified in our test plan. Some variables like test type, env type, and test name, we haven't specified them in test plan, but they are added here because they are mandatory. And for our test, we can change the amount of users, we can change ramp up, or let's change duration. Also, we can change all this name of variables, values of variables, sorry. And load configuration also can be changed. Engine region as well, if we would have any other regions set up. Right now we won't change anything, and we need to click run test. Right now the test and pending status. The test status already has changed to in progress, and we need to wait the end of the test. Execution of the test we can track using real-time monitoring. Let's click to the test, and we see the status of the test in progress, test started, and results are being updated every minute. And we have the graph here. We can specify aggregation that we need. 1 minute is too much right now because the test only started. And here we have statistics for every request. Let's specify auto update of the graph every 1 minute. Also, we can filter either we want to track only successful operations or only error operations, and we see that we have such operations already for by product request. Also, in this section, we have requests, possibility to filter either request or transactions if we would have them. Statistics for responses. It is throughput the amount of operations per request per aggregation time period. Average responses, it is response time. We see that response time for our errors, it is 300 milliseconds. And for OK operations, it is aggregated statistics for all requests. Possibility to see response time by request will be available after the test finish in analytics section. Right now it is unavailable because the test is in progress. And transactions per second, it is statistics, aggregated statistics for requests per second, either for request or transactions if we would have here transactions. The same thing for errors. So we see that auto-updating section disappeared. It means that the test is finished. Also the indicator of finished test here that we have all summarized statistics. Also in this report we have summarized table for every request, errors with error message and count of errors and URL and response code. Also we have graphs for health of load generator or load generators in case if we would have distributed testing. It is load average statistics. It is CPU. We can specify here system, user, IO weight, soft. So memory, heap memory and non-heap memory. And artifacts, it is Jmeter log that can be downloaded locally and review it. So we can get back to backend section right now, and we see that in results section we have one task right now that is in finished status. Aggregated statistics for transaction per second, for fail rate it is 6 and 4%, duration 200 milliseconds, seconds, sorry, and the amount of users 8, environment, test type, and date information. On that point, we complete our demo for how to set up and how to run backend test. Thanks for watching this video.